Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ring of Fire 2.0. Now, it's been a while. I haven't really done a proper, at least a Ring of Fire anyway. I have done a Game of Thrones podcast that is on my normal Thomas Fireheart channel, which shouldn't be hard to find. Check it out. I did it with one other person, hoping to do it with two. But anyway, I decided that I would do my own predictions kind of video. There's a reason I put it in quotation marks. So I'll pretty much give my thoughts on WrestleMania as a whole later. So let's just get down to business. First, I'm going to give my thoughts on the pre-show matches just because there's two of them, and there's 9 matches overall if you count those two, which actually means that there's only 7 matches on the main card. Honestly, I would have had 8, but whatever. As long as some of those matches actually get decent time, then fair enough. Okay. First up, we've got the Fatal 4. At least I don't know if this will be the order or not, but I'm going by the Wikipedia order. So, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Title match between Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, who are the defending champs. The New Day of Big E and Kofi Kingston, at least, and Xavier Woods just sort of there with them. Los Matadores and the Usos. Now, I'm pretty much going to boil this down to what I used to do when I would do written predictions, where I would give who I think should win and who I think will win. Who I think should win is Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, since as much as I love the Usos, they've lost the titles now. I don't want them to get them back for a while, because I want Tyson and Cesaro to actually have a decent run. So I want the champions to retain, but this is WrestleMania, and as they've proven before, they will do a throwaway title change that they automatically undo the next night. So who I think will win is any team but Tyson and Cesaro. Because I forget what year it was, but one year they did Barrett versus The Miz, I'm pretty sure, on the pre-show, and it was an Intercontinental title match. Miz won the title, then dropped it the next night. So, yeah. You can see where I'm coming from. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I know, like, honestly, my friend Jimmy, who's like essentially the figurehead in a way of that rule. When I said that, when they were giving their thoughts leading in, and I said that I think Curtis Axel should win because he's the only one with the story going into this, and he said that would be way too obvious. I do agree that yes, it would be too obvious, but at the same time, sometimes the obvious thing is the best thing, and the crowd seems to really be behind him for this. So, really, I think WWE owes him this win. I mean, come on. Does it really, like, in the broader spectrum, I shouldn't even really care because this match is pointless. They slap Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal onto it and give them a trophy because they want to make it seem like it matters, but it doesn't. Look at what Cesaro's doing. I thought that it would be like, oh, okay, it's a launching pad. Maybe they're actually going to do something with him. But nope. He squanders on the mid-card for about a year and then goes up into the tag division again. So, which, I wouldn't necessarily call being a tag team champion right now a downgrade, but look how long it took him to get there. Okay? That is stupid as fuck. Now, pretty much because looks like they really write this order out in a weird way. I'm just going to go now that I've covered the two pre-show, I'm going to go from the bottom up. Randy and Rollins. Who do I want to win? Rollins. Who do I think will win? Orton. Simple enough. I don't really give a shit about this match, and I do hate Randy Orton. So if he does win, I'll be so pissed. But I don't know. I could see this being a good match, or at least a decent match. At least if Rollins, Rollins should be able to carry Orton, which is ironic, I know to say, the veteran being carried by someone else. Even though if you go by pre-WWE stuff, Seth would be a lot more fucking experienced than Orton. But as far as the WWE style goes, Randy Orton is the veteran. And I just don't care. Because, I'm going to be very blunt about this card. And Randy Rollins, I don't care. I hope it surprises me and turns out to be a great match. But, because, hell, there was a match between Dolph Ziggler and Randy Orton one year at Night of Champions that had nothing to do with anything really and seemed pretty stupid. And I hate both guys, or at least I did hate Dolph Ziggler then. I still don't consider myself on his bandwagon though, and I don't think I'll ever be on it. But I at least don't hate him as much now. He started to win me over finally. And they had a good match, and this was back when I hated them both, so Randy Orton has proved that if you put him in the ring with the right person, he can have a good match. So hopefully that works out in this case with a guy as talented as Seth. Now, we move on to Rocky 4 Part 5 with Rusev versus Cena for the US title. The amount of fucks that I give about this match doesn't exist. It is that far below zero. So I could really just say below zero. I give negative amounts of fucks about this match. The match at Fastlane wasn't completely bad, but I just don't care. If Rusev wins, then it's boring. If Cena wins, then he gets the US title, and it's like, what the fuck is Cena going to do with the US title? He hasn't had it for like 11 years. And that's no lie. Last time he had it, well, okay, last time he technically held one was about 10 years ago. But the last time he won one at WrestleMania was about 11 years ago. And God, wouldn't it be funny if that was the opening match and that's how it went and Cena had to cheat to beat Rusev? God, that would be a complete redo of his match versus Big Show at WrestleMania 20. But again, I don't care who wins. It's like, who do I think will win? Cena. Who do I think should win? Honestly, Cena, because I'm sick of this fucking Rusev winning streak. It's boring as shit. Winning streak should never be dragged out this long with a guy like this, with a guy like Rusev, because it just doesn't work. The matches are boring, and if they actually put him in with proper brawlers, like Well, I say that, but then I remember that his and Sheamus's matches weren't necessarily anything to write home about. But again, I don't care. Okay, now, before I get into the next match, I'm going to say exactly why it bugs me so much. AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins. This match bugs me because this should be a title match, not a tag. So it shouldn't even be a tag match. This should be Nikki Bella versus either AJ or Paige, or hell, make it a fucking fatal four-way with both Bellas in there and, like, you know, have a bit of dissension or something. Tease that. Or, like, well, no, they wear completely different attire now, so they wouldn't be able to pull that trick. But, you know, that would at least be kind of interesting. Or, hell, if Natalya was in this and it was like Nikki, AJ, Paige, and Natalya, that would be pretty cool. At least, I guess at least they're not blowing their load like they did last year, where they were like, fuck it, and threw every single woman into the match. And it was just a mess, from what I remember. Because, like, that would have happened if they'd done that with the men as well. You can't just throw that many people in there at once and go, yeah, that'll work. Because, as far as I'm concerned, the only three women with even the slightest bit of talent in this match are AJ, Paige, and Nikki. Brie can fuck off. Brie is useless. Okay? Like, the only reason I even liked the Bellas at first is because they used to do those flying snapmare things. And that was like their one move. And now neither of them do it. Nikki's at least improving, but Brie's just kind of there. She's window dressing for Nikki, which is funny because they're twins and they're like identical twins, so it's really weird. And you can't even compare them to the Olsen twins because really most people consider both of them useless, but I haven't seen their acting shit in a while. But of course, I veer off into that because I just don't care about this match. I don't care about the storyline. I don't care about the Bella twins at all. As characters, Nikki might be getting better in the ring, but their characters are still bland as fuck. There's a reason that the crowds mostly go dead when the Bella twins come out, because they don't give a fuck. But WWE keeps pushing them anyway, because apparently no reaction is better than a negative one, even though I would count no reaction as a negative one. So, whatever. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. I said this in the 999 podcast with Grindhead Jim and Skeletroy, but this match should have happened last year. Or not at all. Brock Lesnar gained absolutely nothing by beating The Undertaker. Because all he was doing was beating up a guy that is so far over the hill that he's down the other side. The Undertaker should not be wrestling at this WrestleMania. End of story. Ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Defending champion is Barrett, and the challengers are R-Truth, Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, Stardust, and Daniel Bryan. Wow, what a waste of talent this is. Just another, well, fuck it, let's just throw them in there because why the fuck not? Like, I guess at least there's kind of a story behind this, which funnily enough is one that they've used with Ziggler, I'm pretty sure. And generally this is a thing that they do for champions. A bunch of people will beat them in a row, and they'll go, well, okay, you all get title shots. So they throw them into the one match. If this was like a, you know what, this should have been a Money in the Bank ladder match, as far as I'm concerned. Because a Money in the Bank ladder match, needs to go back to WrestleMania and stop being its own pay-per-view, because that just seems silly, especially since there's only one now. So who do I think will win? Anyone that isn't Barrett, pretty much. Who do I want to win? Who I want to win is kind of hard because there are a few guys that I would like. R-Truth would be out of nowhere and it would make him relevant again, so that'd be cool. Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, I would want to be champion again. Stardust, Bryan, not so much, but maybe just so he can kind of claim a triple crown. Because the US title, as we all know, apparently does not count as the Cripple Crown. The Cripple Crown, Cripple Crown, wow, what a fuck up that was. Triple Crown. Wow, it shows how little I care, doesn't it? Is the Triple Crown is the WWE, I guess, effectively now the WWE World Heavyweight title, and the Intercontinental title and the tag titles. That's it. Well, technically, you could argue that no one can ever get the Triple Crown again because the World Tag titles are gone, but technically they were unified, so I guess it could still count. Maybe. In which case, yeah, really, I'm pretty... Has he even won the Intercontinental title before? Because I honestly can't remember. I know he's won the US title before. If he has, comment or something, because I honestly don't remember, and I don't think I can be bothered to check. So if you know where it is, then hey, I honestly can't remember. But yeah, Bryan, I would say no to winning, or again, if yes, then only to get the proper Triple Crown. Stardust, I guess, Stardust I'll only accept if it leads to an Intercontinental title match between Stardust and Goldust at Extreme Rules. That's the only way I will accept Stardust winning. If the Goldust feud picks up again. Pretty much anyone can win this match, and I'll be satisfied, though. Which I guess is a good thing. So, moving on. Sting versus Triple H. I literally could not care less. Sting is over the hill. Excuse me. And so is Triple H. I love Triple H, and I've liked what I've seen of Sting since he became past his prime in his TNA run. But putting them both together, it's just like, I don't think either could carry each other. So that's going to be painful. But as I've said before, Sting versus The Undertaker would be just as painful. Because Undertaker should not be wrestling this year. So Bray Wyatt's going to have to carry him there. And in this case, neither guy, Sting or Triple H, can carry the other as far as I'm concerned. I hope they surprise me. I really do. But who knows? Maybe I'm right. This is one of those cases in pay-per-views where I hope to hell I am wrong. Because that's just it. I don't want the pay-per-view to be terrible, because then I have to sit through 4 hours of a terrible pay-per-view. Plus 2 hours of a pre-show, because I'm pretty sure the WrestleMania pre-show is like 2 hours now. But, like, it's sad, people. And then we've got the main event, which, if there is people actually looking forward to this match, more power to you. But I do not give a jack shit about Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. The only way, as I've said before, when I was doing something with Skeletor and Grindhead Jim, was at this point I'm going to have to fucking link that now because I've been dropping that so much. Which, please, check out anything they do. It's great. Brock Lesnar versus Roman. The only way I'll be satisfied is if at the last minute they make it a street fight, because apparently they haven't yet. And it's like, you are not going to get a good match out of these two unless you let them kick the shit out of each other. And that means that you have to let them do anything. And that means no rules. And it's the only way I'm going to care, because Brock Lesnar has had non-specialty matches before. And look how those all turn out. They're boring as hell. Because all they let him do is a snap suplex, German suplexes, until he, like, enough German suplexes that whoever he's facing is going to get a concussion. Enough, like, a belly-to-belly suplex. Sorry if you can hear that in the background. This yelling happening. Yeah, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, don't care. If they make it a street fight, I'll care. Who do I think should win? Roman. Who do I think will win? Roman. And God, I hope I'm right, because Brock Lesnar does not need the title. Okay? I don't care what anyone says about his title reign. It's been shit. He squashed Cena, and he squashed Rollins. What do you want him to do? If that ends up like this match, if this is Brock Lesnar beating the utter shit out of Reigns and then winning, I'm canceling my subscription to the network, because I'm not going to give this company money anymore if that's what they're going to do. Just bury their own talent with a guy that used to be a great wrestler but now can do jack shit, or isn't allowed to do more than jack shit. It's really fucking annoying knowing what Brock Lesnar was once like and seeing him being a shell of his former self as far as his in-ring talent goes. And, well, that's it. That's all the matches covered. This is like the second WrestleMania in a row where there are absolutely no matches I'm interested in. WrestleMania 29 at least had Undertaker versus CM Punk, which I thought was actually going to be quite interesting and ended up being quite crap. But I really don't blame the two wrestlers for that, because they were going in injured and they injured themselves during the match as well. So that match was kind of destined to fail. They did the best with what they could do with their bodies so banged up, but last year I went in with no expectations, because I don't think I gave a shit about any of the matches on last year's card. Or if I did, there was only like one or two. There were 3 matches that I liked, but the rest of the show was shit. Overall, I didn't care much for the pay-per-view. This year, I don't give a shit about a single match on this card. Because I actually am looking kind of forward to the Fatal 4-Way Tag match, but they threw that on the pre-show and spat in the face of those 8 men. Okay? They spat in their face when they put them on the pre-show. It's a fucking title match, WWE. You do not put any title match on the fucking pre-show of WrestleMania. If this was a woman's title match being put on the pre-show, I would still be pissed. Even though I probably wouldn't care about it as much, because it'd be like Nikki Bella versus Paige for the millionth time or something. I'd still be pissed that it'd be on the pre-show because, as far as I'm concerned, no title match should be on the pre-show. The pre-show should be for the non-title matches no one cares about. But like it, honestly, you know what? I would make it the first match. I would make that the opening match and have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal as the one and only pre-show match. The only reason I can think that they've got two matches on the pre-show now is that the pre-show for WrestleMania is usually 2 hours now. So that's the only logical reason I can think of that. But regardless, this is looking to be, at just on paper, a pretty mediocre WrestleMania. So, yeah, that's about it. For anyone that cares, I have set up a Patreon. I will link it somewhere, maybe put an annotation after I've finished this. Otherwise, there'll be a link in the description. You don't have to donate at all. I don't care if you do or not. But if you do, even just a dollar is fine. I'm not going to ask you for your life savings or any bullshit like that. Just a dollar would be totally fine. And I'm pretty sure that I'll probably put this up on Patreon anyway, because you can just link YouTube videos through. But to save from rambling, I'm pretty much just going to end it there. Once again, this looks like WrestleMania 31 will be the epitome of mediocre mania, which I coined for WrestleMania 29. But I'm clinging on to a shred of hope that this will be watchable. I don't care if it doesn't blow me out of the park, as long as it is good. I am Thomas Fireheart, and I will see you after WrestleMania. Whether it's as part of the 9.99 podcast or not, there will either be that or I will be doing a Ring of Fire for it. So I will see you then.